Okay, I wanted to make sure this was on. Y'all got to hear me for this. So as I said, my name is Father Josh Link. I've been a priest for 2 years. I was ordained a priest in May 25th, 2019, before the world went to crap with 2020. I got in there right before it all happened. I spent my first 2 years as a priest as the associate pastor in Mason City at Epiphany and Sacred Heart in Manly, also working at Newman. And now they said they gave me a promotion to pastor of St. Pat's, pastor of Sacred Heart, and the chaplain at Rockwell. But I'm really trying to figure out if this is a promotion because it's more work and like the same pay as before. So I don't know. But when a priest is ordained, it's a big weekend. Oh my gosh. There was probably 3,000 people at my ordination. And it was absolutely insane. And it starts Thursday. My ordination was on Saturday, and it starts on Thursday evening with the Holy Hour and Vesper service with the priests and seminarians. There's a talk, and we spend the night in prayer, and then we have a nice dinner. The next morning on Friday, we have rehearsals all day about the ordinations. Make sure everyone's in the right spot, doing the right thing at the right time. It was exhausting. And then that night, they have the transitional deacon ordination. So all the deacons that are going to be ordained priests the next year get ordained Friday night. So I had to be at that. And the next morning was my time to shine. The priesthood ordination. I had waited 8 years for this. Finally, it's here. Now, my ordination, the Mass was probably about 2 hours. It was very long and very emotional. And then afterwards, we gave about our first blessings as priests for about 2 hours. So you can imagine. For 2 hours. And my jaws were permanently And so then, once a priest is ordained, what he then gets to do is celebrate his Mass of Thanksgiving, which is typically the first time that he, as the priest, is the main celebrant at a Mass. So he usually goes back to his home parish, so I went all the way 5 miles to mine, and that evening at 4:30 had my Mass of Thanksgiving, which also was very emotional. And then we had a reception until midnight. And then the next day, my classmates had their Masses of Thanksgiving, and then their receptions. So it was just nonstop for 4 days. But with all of that stuff going on, there's so many possibilities of what could have been the most memorable experience and the memorable part of it. But for me, one moment stood out far above any other moment in all of that happened. I even had the opportunity, even before I heard my first confession, I got to go to the hospital and anoint my grandmother who had fallen the night before and was in the ER. So I got to do right away I'm just doing these priestly things, right? That night, right before my Mass of Thanksgiving, my parish priest, who was the priest there when I grew up at St. Joe's, his name was Father Don Bakewell. Now, I loved Father Bakewell. He was a great role model for me, but no offense to him, he wasn't anything special. He wasn't he didn't move mountains. He didn't build community centers. He didn't remodel sanctuaries. He didn't do anything like that. He wasn't over the top. And he said he wanted to come to my Mass of Thanksgiving, and I was honored to have him there. But his health was really, really poor, and he couldn't drive or get around. So one of my friends went and picked him up, and he came in the entrance of the church, which is just like this. And he just walked in with his walker, and there's a couple people helping him. And I kid you not, the entire church, my entire home parish, stood up in a thunderous applause for that man who did not much. And I'm like, what did he do? I'm the one who just got ordained. A year goes by, and it clicks. In our gospel and all throughout our readings this weekend, we hear this idea of the shepherd, the one who calls out and helps his sheep, the one who is there no matter what happens. Because a shepherd, what a good shepherd does is loves, serves, and prays for their sheep. And that's exactly what Father Bakewell did. He didn't build stuff. He didn't raise people from the dead. He loved his people. He served them. And he prayed for them constantly. So he wasn't anything special. He was about like God's greatest gift to those people, because he gave his heart and his soul to those people in every way that he could. Father Don Bakewell loved, served, and prayed for his people. Father John Gossman loved, served, and prayed for all of you. Now, it is my turn to love you all, to serve you all, and to pray for you all. We got 6 to 12 more years of this, people. Buckle up, because this is going to be a fun time. So this is my promise to you all. I promise to love you. I promise to serve you. And I promise to pray for you with all of my heart. And with God's help, I will continue to try to do that as long as I live.